Hello, everyone. Welcome everyone for joining in. So my name is Flo. I'm the corporate innovation manager for the U.S. branch of True Space region. So I'll be your host today for our tech meeting dedicated to logistics. So this session will be recorded and shared. So please let me know if anyone would be against it. Great. So we're going to start, and I'm going to start with the agenda for today. So it's going to be a short event today. So after an introduction of what we do, I'll provide some key figures about the overall logistics industry, and then we will move to the presentation of innovative companies presenting their solution and products. So we will answer questions at the end of the starter pitches. So if you have any to our participant, you can use the question feature of Livestorm. Great. All right. So let's jump into it with a short presentation of True Space region and what we do. For some of you who don't know us, True Space region is a catalyst for business and innovation. We partner with Fortune 500 corporations in order to support international companies willing to expand and set up business in the Paris region. So thanks to our presence and vibrant tech ecosystem located in San Francisco, New York, Beijing, Shanghai, and of course Paris, we are in touch with over 4,000 international companies every year. So this unique relationship we have with large corporations on one hand and with innovative, fast-growing companies on the other hand, led us to create the Global Open Innovation Network about 5 years ago. So through this global program, we organize about 20 events a year to foster business and technology partnerships between large corporations and startups. So since the pandemic moved our events online, it allowed us to connect and get in touch with more people, more companies. So it has been a pretty interesting experience. So we cover a narrow of technology. So as you can see here, we cover mobility, AI, retail, health, as well as topics such as like smart cities, fintech, etc., etc. So today we're going to talk about the logistics industry. So first, I wanted to show you a brief overview of the logistics industry. It's composed of different actors from various industries. They are well known, of course. It's FedEx, DSV, or DB, etc., etc. I wanted to share with you some key figures really quickly as well, and I wanted to stop on three main figures to set up the base of our event, and after we will have some examples with the startups. So first, the global logistics market was valued around $641 billion in 2020, based on a PwC report. Something important as well is that by 2027, the market is expected to reach $12.975 billion. And so last, the compound annual growth rate for the industry is expecting to be around 6.5 from 2021 to 2027. So those trends and industries where logistics is a prominent trend today, as we can see here, it's obviously the blockchain, digitalization, sorry for that, 3PL to 5PL, and air delivery. So to finish this overview of the mobility industry, the logistic industry, sorry, I wanted to share this non-exhaustive market map with you. We designed it based on different players we have identified on the market. So it's missing a few actors, of course, but it gives us a good understanding on what's happening these days. So I don't want to get into too much details. So if you're interested or have a question, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to share it with you or tell you how I built it. Great. So without further ado, I'm going to move on to the second part of our event with the starter presentations. So I'm going to invite Anders to join me on stage for the first presentation. Great. So while we wait for Anders, he's going to present his company. It's called Focal Point, and he's the founder and CEO. Hi, Anders. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Pretty well, thank you. Thank you. Great. Well, you have it.
Screen?
Yes, I can barely hear you, Anders.
All right. I'll try to get a little closer and then hopefully that will help it.
Yes,
All right.
great. Okay, perfect. Well, the floor is yours, Anders.
All right. So, hi, everybody. My name is Anders Lilovic, and I'm the founder and CEO of Focal Point. Focal Point is a B2B SaaS company in the procurement space. The challenge that I always had in procurement is that people don't really know how to do it well. They don't know who to go to. And there's a lot of complexity in the internal procurement processes companies go through. And that's what we're solving. One of those examples is, for example, the challenges people have when they buy things at home. It is very, very simple. You choose what you want, you check out, and basically you can track it right into your living rooms. That process usually takes somewhere between 2 to 5 days by the time you decide until the time you get it. Now, when you step into the corporate environment and you try to buy something in a corporate environment, it is very, very different. You have to make sure you have the requirements set down. You got to research suppliers. You got to do due diligence. You got to make sure you get the proper amount of bids. Then you have to involve all the internal stakeholders like IT, security, risk, finance, legal, and so on. So the typical purchase process for a new item within most organizations is somewhere within 60 and 90 days, which is obviously a very long time to deal with it. And the problem that people have is if you don't do procurement every day, it's like going into a maze. You have no idea how you're going to get to the other side of this to actually get your stuff. And it sounds easy enough, but as most of you may know, it's really not as you get into the corporate environment. And it's very, very important to get these things right. If you do failure in these processes, you often stand to lose money, but also reputation and fines. For example, Walmart ended up hiring through a third party people that weren't allowed to work in the country in the United States. They were cleaning the offices in the stores for Walmart. They had no idea that this was happening because the third party, obviously it's an American company. But at the end of the day, Walmart ended up being fined. And it's one more example about why you need to make sure that the checks and balances are in place, are being followed. So, like I said, my name is Anders Lilovic, and I've worked in procurement for 25 years. I've been a chief procurement officer for some of the most largest and complex companies in the United States. For example, Fannie Mae, with a $4 trillion balance sheet and a purchase expense of over $8 billion, I managed their procurement organization. So Focal Point, in this particular instance, sets out a step-by-step instruction for users for how to go to. Based on what they're buying, we're telling them, you need to go here, you need to talk to these people, you need to document these things, and you sort of document a step-by-step directional turn through that maze. In the next instance, we take the maze away and make it easier for folks to sort of lineate it. And then as we work with companies, we try to make that process as streamlined and easy as possible. So we allow automation, we allow multiple things to happen simultaneously. We give folks the preferred providers with pre-approved agreements and pre-approved rate sheets so that they don't have to go through that maze every single solitary time. We also give very good reports as part of the solution, so we can tell organizations how busy the people are, what they're working on, and what is their capacity to take on more work. And this is a fairly new thing because a lot of things that are happening in procurement aren't really tracked. Last but not least, we also provide basically a step-by-step process and report on everything that happened on that purchase. How many people were involved? How long did it take on each task? Who participated and what did they do? And then you get clarity on how long things take and what needs to get done. Right now, we're in production. We have a few large customers that are using this globally. What we're finding is they're saving about 20% of the FTE resources on getting things done, and the reporting and management of data is almost cut in half. Right now, we are pre-seed. We just finished the TechStars program, and we're on track to have 6 clients by the end of the year and $400,000 of ARR, and we currently have 5 pilot customers that are also large and intimidating. The market opportunity is huge. The total addressable market for procurement applications is $10 billion per year, and it's growing at a compounded average growth rate of 10% per year. So it's on track to be much larger than that. We have a great team. Myself, I'm the CEO. Max is located in the Ukraine with our dev team. And we also have an SR customer success manager. We're nimble, but we're getting things done. That is it for me. Thank you so much for having me. I want to make sure that I don't go over time. I was instructed for that very carefully. So thank you very much. You guys can take your stage back.
That was perfect, Anders. Thank you so much. Great. Thank you for presenting. Very, very nice technology. Great. So we're going to move on with our next startup now. Thank you, Anders.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Great. So we're going to move to the next presentation with Carrie Love. So while we wait for Carrie, so Carrie, just a brief presentation of her. She's the co-founder and CEO of Must Deliver. So yeah, she's going to present in a second.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for joining in today. So the presentation is on the screen. You can move it yourself. Yeah, the floor is yours, Carrie.
Okay. Let me just make sure I understand how to maneuver through my presentation. How would I do that? I don't.
If you can, just tell me next, and I will change the slides.
Okay, great. Excellent.
Perfect.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm Carrie Love, CEO and co-founder of Must Deliver. Must Deliver is digitizing the last mile for the transparent supply chain, as well as trucking. So let's move to the next slide. Thank you. You're going to see the reason why we put this up is because we actually exist in 90% of this pie chart. We operate in the line haul portion of trucking and as well as the last mile delivery. And what we're finding is that because we're in 90% of the overall delivery costs, we're able to share our assets very nimbly in the market, including in the last mile. Next slide. So what is the issue with the last mile? It's absolutely outdated technology. There's lack of transparency, lack of data collection. Customers are uninformed, and the vehicle technology is antiquated. Next slide. And we are a total digitized solution. We operate a freight marketplace. We have our supply side, which is our driver or our asset side, carrier side, as well as shippers and customers. So again, we began on the line haul portion of trucking, and as we started recruiting our supply side, our driver side, we found a huge need in an emerging market for last mile delivery. We have brought in and successfully used a number of box trucks that have come into the market in the last 4 years, and we have helped them with their technology, giving them for free end-to-end transparency in their delivery. We're collecting and informing our marketplace with real live data. Everybody is completely visible, so customers are constantly updated on the location of their delivery. And we're working, which is super exciting, we're working on partnerships to bring electronic vehicles into our last mile segment. Next slide, please. So where we're really finding amazing success is in the organic food chain supply chain here in the States in that refrigerated last mile. So again, this is a highly needed traceable. We need visibility into the organic food supply chain. We're leaders in that with different regulators in the Department of Agriculture, and really helping them create the standards of how end-to-end transparency is now affecting their supply chain. And we're additionally, we're also educating our drivers and training them on how to deliver in this way. And that goes all the way to the last mile delivery. Next, please. So, you know, when you have to think outside the box on a very old problem, what I did is I purposely drew from multiple expertise myself. I formerly owned and exited a marketing firm, and I specialized on strategic partnerships, and I come from trucking. So growing up in rural Maine, I was able to ride around in potato trucks and logging trucks my whole life. Chris Dalton, our CTO, found success in pharma and oil and gas before I brought him in. Charles Aragi, our CFO, had a long career on Wall Street. But what's really important about my team is everyone has had experience in integration, and this is allowing us to take our solution and actually integrate into existing supply chain solutions today. And that integration, we bring the supply, it still operates within our digital marketplace. And then also our advisory board comes from trucking itself, supply chain expert, as well as global banking. Next slide, please. A huge important initiative for us is the ESG initiatives for Must Deliver. We're committed to this as a company. We are end-to-end transparent, but it also goes all the way through how we communicate with our stakeholders and participants. Again, going back to introducing electronic vehicles and autonomous technologies into our driver segment now, and getting them trained on how it can benefit them, as well as help them progress as a professional in the industry. We've launched a carbon offset program that we're going to be absolutely expanding and working with existing companies that really is important to their company values. Here in the United States, we found great success with that so far. Next slide. So thank you. I wanted to be very brief today with respect of time. We are currently fundraising. If we can get into more detail in any follow-up meetings. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much. Very exciting. And I know that the CFO of your company, Charles, is also here. So hi as well. So thank you for joining today.
Yes, thank you.
Great. Perfect. So we're going to move on and have our next presentation, Frank. So I'm going to invite Frank on stage. So Frank is the CEO at Blue Flight. So he's going to present here in a second. Hi, Frank. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much. You can share your screen to share the presentation, and the floor is going to be yours. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for having me here today. The company name is Blue Flight. My name is Frank Noppel. I'm the CEO and co-founder. Blue Flight, we have a vision to become the leading player in the emerging cargo UAV industry. UAV is a short form for unmanned aerial vehicle, also known to be a drone. We have a world-class management team. We have existing customer contracts, and we have a patent pending UAV platform. We believe that a UAV can bring certain advantages into the logistics industry. On the last mile specifically, it operates at very high speed. It's a direct connection between two dots on a map. We have access to pretty much anywhere. These drones can move at very high speed, but they can also take off and land vertically without much infrastructure required on the ground. They're designed to be low cost, so we estimate that we can be 5 times less expensive than anything that moves on the ground and that comes at a higher speed at the same time. We also factor in enhanced safety, cybersecurity, and control throughout the entire delivery cycle. We operate all electric, so we can run on renewable energy sources. The vehicles itself are currently powered by batteries. And we enable contactless operation, which reduces the biohazard risk in light of the current pandemic. The reason why we got into the market is it's very sizable. On the small packages, there's 100 billion plus a package delivered every year, which create a market opportunity of $500 billion that is growing. We also see that a large portion of the world's population living in emerging economies where infrastructure on the ground may not be sufficient, and we can overcome that without having to put infrastructure in place. We also see that a large part of the world's population live in cities with already congested infrastructure where drones can overcome the challenges on the ground. Our platform consists of 3 elements: the actual UAV hardware, as well as the digital platform and services to provide a turnkey solution. The UAV has specific features that are very tailored to the needs of the logistics industry. It's a very unique design. It has unrivaled maneuverability, which means it can deliver a package to a small location, regardless of the ambient conditions. It carries the payload inside the vehicle and can be implemented in an all-automated supply chain. We also keep a very commercial focus, so simplicity is key, and keep the vehicle at a very low cost. The digital platform allows us to integrate with any logistics applications and feedback to the logistics operator. Currently, we have 3 different sizes of our vehicle, a small, a medium, and a large version of it. The small and medium range are currently rolled out to customers, whereas the large version is planned for 2022-2023. Our digital platform connects the flying hardware with the cloud. So there's a live data stream to connect to any air traffic management systems, digital logistics applications, consumer apps, and so on. We also collect the data for subsequent analysis and enable logistics companies to optimize their operation. The services that we're providing are across some of the consulting topics to trial any strategies or plan any pilots. We have very UAV-specific expertise. We can check which business cases can be resolved through our technology. We also provide operational support to any operators of UAVs. We're an OEM, so we're not a UAV operator. We're not offering services through our technology. We see that this is a lot more scalable being on the OEM side, given that there's different regulatory environments in different countries. We believe that this is a very sizable opportunity with a total addressable market in the range of hundreds of billions of dollars. And for the commercial cargo UAV market, we estimate this to be in the range of $20 billion. In that market, we already have contracts. So we have a smart city customer with a 2-year contract that we're currently serving to pilot our technology. And we got an AFWERX grant, and that's for a defense application. The 2 co-founders is myself, as well as James McLaren. We're incorporated in the States. My background is aerospace engineering, and I spent considerable time in consulting. The way this is split is that James is taking care of the technical part of the company, and I'm on the commercial and the financial part. also supported by a range of investors and mentors with various different backgrounds. We're currently raising a Series A. We came out of phase 1 with Techstars. We have a US fund, Michigan Rise, on board, as well as Angel ME. We're incorporated in the States. We're now at phase 2, conducting pilot operations, generating revenues, and we're now looking at a Series A to get us to phase 3. That's it, and thank you very much for your attention, and looking forward to answering any questions.
Thank you so much, Frank. Great. That was a nice presentation. Thank you so much. Great. So we're going to move on. Thank you, Frank. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're going to move on with our next presenters. So it's Manish. So we're going to wait for Manish here. So Manish is the co-founder of LOGINEXT. And so he's going to present his company. Hi, Manish. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing perfectly. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can share your screen, and the floor is yours.
All right. Thanks for giving me the access. Allow me to share my screen, and do confirm once my presentation is visible.
Yes, it is.
Perfect. So, okay, just 1 second. All right. Good morning to the ones joining in from the US, and a very good evening to some of us joining in from Europe or other parts of the world. I am Manish, co-founder LOGINEXT, and in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to take an attempt to present to you our last 6 years of hard work to establish LOGINEXT universe across 200 odd customers and 78 odd countries in the last 5 years. LOGINEXT is an enterprise SaaS platform which automates, optimizes, digitizes, visualizes, and analyzes anything from people to manpower to vehicles to shipment, which are moving from one point to the other across the globe. As you could see on the top left of this slide, LOGINEXT is recognized as one of the leaders in transport automation space. And this leadership has been garnered on us by some of the global names such as Forbes, Gartner, IBM, Deloitte, to name a few, who have been consistently ranking LOGINEXT as a leading player, leveraging machine learning and artificial intelligence to solve logistical woes. A quick introduction about self. I'm based out of New Jersey. I have close to a decade of experience in working in the field of logistics, automation, innovation, and IT, and strong experience of living and working in APAC, Europe, and North America, with first-hand experience of understanding the geographical nuances. That has pretty much helped us to make sure that we are truly building a global SaaS product based out of New Jersey. To understand the industry we are in, right, we all kind of relate and empathize with the fact that logistics is complex. If you look at this screen, you would see there is one single warehouse which is trying to deliver to 6 destinations. Even the small distribution network from one warehouse to 6 destinations requires so much of computing to take the best possible logical call, and it would depend upon numerous variables like customer time preferences, load size, vehicle capacity, traffic conditions, shift timings, vehicle restrictions, and probably more than 50 odd constraints just to decide which customer is going to go first. And if we increase the complexity or scale, the complexity gets manifolds, wherein now we are delivering to 20 odd destinations from one single warehouse. Now, if we try to increase the scale further, you would see that we are delivering from 2 warehouses across multiple odd locations. And we are talking about 7 billion of us, and it cannot get more complex. And yet we have been doing this without systems from last 2000 odd years. But that doesn't mean we were doing it right. And that is wherein LOGINEXT comes in. If you look at the last decade, from 2010 to 2020, logistics SaaS has transformed from being a good to have to becoming must have. And that all happened because of certain drivers which existed in last decade, which included things like there was a boom in terms of using the smartphones, consumerization of Google Maps, applications going cloud, e-commerce booming, rise of on-demand logistics. And that was, if you look in 2015, that was the time when it became a competitive advantage to have logistics SaaS within your IT ecosystem. And that led to the rise of LOGINEXT in 2015, wherein I, along with my co-founders, were responsible for deciding how the initial platform would look like. And from therein, in the last 5 odd years, we have seen that this is an era of complete automation in logistics, wherein most of the organizations, specifically the Fortune 500, are seeking to have the logistics transport automation platform within their IT ecosystem. And the next decade looks equally promising, if not more, because of the following business and technology factors. Every organization is having or focusing on providing a unique customer experience, which could be a B2B or a B2C entity. The driver shortage is a known phenomena. High transportation cost, lower margins, and then certain technology factors like faster data networks, cheaper storage, power edge computing, efficient IoT devices, and robotic process automation. And even these numbers are in line with what we were discussing towards the start of this session, wherein the whole logistics ecosystem is going to be growing at a pace of 20% year on year. And the technology investment, which is ultimately being done to reduce the overall logistics cost, is also going to be a good factor in determining what kind of tech systems we are going to possess. Some numbers about us. We are a 245 member odd strong team. We have close to 200 odd customers in 78 odd countries. We have raised close to $50 million US so far, with Tiger Global Management and SteadView Capital being our lead investors. We have team presence, which is our physical presence in 4 regions, which includes our offices in North America, Europe, and APAC. We work fundamentally on ABCD of logistics, and that's one takeaway for all of you in this conversation, wherein A stands for complete automation and optimization of end-to-end logistics. B stands for business intelligence and analytics over the logistics network data. C stands for improving the customer experience, which is customer experience. And D stands for digitization and dynamic scheduling. These are select few customers across diverse industries, and that kind of makes our platform truly industry agnostic, wherein you would see some of the global names in the consumer packaged goods sides, express logistics and transportation, food and beverages, e-commerce, and traditional manufacturing sector as well. Some of the global implementation includes the likes of Ryder, UPS, McDonald's, 7-Eleven, Malta Post, Wincanton, Pizza Hut, Daraz, to name a few. Our expansion has been truly global with respect to different types of customers and the use cases coming in. Knowing it's a cloud-based solution, we get certain requests which are very unique in nature, and we make sure that we are making it completely agile and delivered to our customers in a productized way. The key features would range from having an end-to-end CP implementation to small parcel pickup automation to integrated multi-country all-mile events and to the last mile execution piece. To summarize, our platform is the center of everything which is happening around logistics. It is trying to bring the method to the madness by connecting the shippers, the customers, the client dispatchers, the carriers, and the drivers in this ecosystem who are completely living in disparate systems. Some of the differentiators which stands us apart includes the kind of scale we have, the kind of customers we cover, the investments we are doing in our R&D, and making sure that we are using all the talent on all the technologies to make our platform agile, and the functionalities we bring in day out, which is a complete set of comprehensive use cases we have covered so far, and the market share and the mind share we captured. I will leave you with some of the key features or functionalities in terms of the coverage we provide. It includes the dispatcher web portal, the mobile application, the third-party carrier integration, the driver application, the shipper portal, dynamic delivery scheduling, enhancing the customer experience with real-time alerts and Uberizing that, gig market or crowdsourcing enablement, and providing the pricing engine and operational cost framework. All in all, if any enterprise is looking to reduce their logistics cost, reducing their carbon footprint, or planning to go carbon neutral, making sure that they are bringing in efficiency in their entire logistics network, be it if they are a shipper or they are a carrier, they should be looking out for a transport automation platform such as LOGINEXT, not a transport management system which lived in the traditional world. That's it from my side. I tried to be brief and tried to be fast as well at the same time. to make sure that we're able to make the best of the time.
Thank you so much, Manish. That was great. That was perfect. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Manish. And we're going to move on with our last presentation today with Eleanor. So Eleanor, until you join me on stage. So Eleanor is the co-founder and CEO at 14bis. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me? And
Yes, I can see you. I can hear you. That's perfect.
okay.
Yes, so at the bottom of your screen, you have a share button, and so you can share your screen.
So I guess the entire screen. You can see?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, 1 second, please.
Yes.
Oops, I just lost it. There we go. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Eleanor Mitch, and I'm CEO and co-founder of 14bis Supply Tracking. We do digital, physical, and hybrid asset tracking currently for our beachhead market, aerospace, and defense. And I wanted to start off with this quote from Tom Peters, which I thought was pretty key for today's meeting. It's great to have a vision and strategy, but ultimately, if you want to win anything, be it a war or getting things to help in medical emergency situations, you need to make sure you have the toilet paper and the materials at the right place at the right time. So it's logistics that define everything. We, working with our customers, we're currently working with the United States Air Force, deployed and used for agile combat support, as well as the United States Marine Corps and some private aerospace companies. We worked with them and found some challenges, 5 key ones that we noted. One, it was very hard for them to validate and notarize compliance documents. It was hard to collect and view data across different tiers and systems of suppliers and network participants. There were extremely high data acquisition costs due to siloed software systems, and there are highly complex communication and supply chains, especially in aerospace, where there are a lot of mom and pop and then large corporations. Plus, paper still remains the major tracking tool. We actually started this company by looking at how aerospace parts, some of the most advanced machinery out there, was being tracked. And facetiously, I'm going to say, it was very sophisticated technology. Indeed, people are still using clipboards, pencil, paper, and pen, Excel spreadsheets, and software systems that don't talk to one another. And this means that missions don't take off and planes don't fly. So for your inventory manager, they have no idea what part is where and when it's going to get there. The IT manager is pulling her hair out because she's dealing with software systems that don't talk to one another, having to reconcile data with different formats and essential problems with that, and data lags. Plus, because of these issues of data lags and not getting updated information or understanding which data is the most accurate, you can have assemblies that aren't getting the key new technical organization or requirements and assembling parts in a way that's not compliant. So as we spoke with customers, we realized that there were 2 key factors that contribute to supply chain logistics complexities, one of which I just mentioned, which was the database incompatibility, which database is the most accurate, data lags, and the second of which is paper-based documentation. I'm going to draw your attention to those yellow tags on the plane motor there. So to address these issues, we have currently a logistics product as well as other products. For the logistics, we created it so it's easy to use for any tier of supplier, and it actually offers a marketplace advantage. Remember, there are a lot of mom and pop shops who aren't going to want to spend thousands of dollars per month on new software. Our solution works with existing processes and systems. We're able to track, notarize, and manage high volumes of documents. And the product has been designed for a highly complex distributed network of participants. Plus, because it's cost effective and also architected in the way that allows it to grow as technology advances. We track digital, physical, and hybrid assets for our beachhead markets, aerospace, and defense. And we are a deep tech company leveraging advanced data analytics and blockchain technology for secure reference points so that the data and the insights gained from that data can be confirmed. So think of our technology as kind of the highly intelligent octopus that can reach out, pull data from different data sources, and automatically update existing software systems with those confirmed data points. This gives our customers greater data security, reduced risk, and greater insight from analytics. When we work with customers, we take one of our products, we customize it for some rapid scaling depending on their organizational needs. Then we're able to scale to different suppliers, warehouses, up to lifecycle serviceability, and then finally implement a global network. So far, we've helped customers reduce inventory carrying costs by 50%, which has had a 30%, excuse me, which has had a 50% impact on margins. And in parallel, we've reduced the time spent on manual tracking processes by 80%. We've received recognition from key industry organizations and are proud members of the Space Information Sharing and Analysis Center. And our team comprises experts in cybersecurity and building and shipping enterprise-grade software for Fortune 100 companies. And our CTO, or Chief Technology Officer, it was the chair of the Congressional Caucus on Blockchain and Supply Chain, and is also a cryptography and peer-to-peer network expert. So I just wanted to thank you and close with the fact that the name of our company actually comes from the name of the plane, the 14 bis, or 14 bis in French, that flew the first self-sustained, self-powered flight in Europe in 1906 on the Plaine de Bagatelle in Paris. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Eleonore. Great. Thank you again. I wanted to thank you all for accepting my invitation. Thank you again to all the presenters. I hope to see you soon. As usual, I'm going to follow up in the next few days, connect, and share the different questions. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me either on LinkedIn or email. So that's it for today. Thank you again, everyone, for coming by, and have a great rest of your day. Until next time. Bye-bye.